Oops. Coming electronically, or was he?
I don't think either. He's got a EMT class he has to take tonight
That'll do.
at the hospital, so he's either gonna try to hit that first.
Yeah, see if he'll sure come in with it.
So I got,
All right, so we'll call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. We have counting people to make it easier. It looks like we have 2 online. We have 1, 2, 3 of us here, so that would make 5 if I can't write. So we are recording tonight, so we can post this because there's an alter ego part of that anyway.
Yeah.
We have no secretary's report, but I will do a treasurer's report, which is kind of a lot going on. So the balance of the September meeting was $18,598.02. Had a lot of bills this month, which, some of it's grant aid money that had to get put out, that'll get put back into the system later on. We had bills of $10,527.82. Of that, the biggest amount of that is grant aid gravel for $9,880, which is a partial payment of $18,880. But I didn't want to take all of the money out of the account, so we wrote it for half. Chief was good with that, and that'll get back into that. So we also had Dollar Tree for $17.50. That was for raffle tickets for the poker run and containers for those raffle tickets. We had Walmart for $234.55. Here it is. That gift card for the poker run and the kids' prizes. And then plates, napkins, etc. also in that. So we also had $59.53 for water and soda for the poker run. And then we just wrote the last check to K&R Portable Toilets for $210. So our new balance, so the bank deposit for $556 from the poker run. Is that where we're looking at? No, that's total, sorry. Poker run was $426 and a Nova check for $130. So our new balance now, which is kind of anemic looking after the checks, but is $8,725.17. Keeping in mind that $9,880 takes like 2 weeks to go back in. Again, there's another $9,000 check that's out there that's not included in here yet, but that won't get deposited until after the 9,000 goes back in. So it's going to go wash out and back and out and back. That's where we're at. Any questions on any of it? Okay. So old business, we're back on the poker run. We had 64 poker hands purchased. Rick Hatch won the poker run, wound up donating his portion back. So that, made a deposit to the Augie fund of $782. And the club account was a deposit of $426. So basically, the club pocketed about $114.42 after the expenses. We, normally after the poker run, we publish a thank you to the people that donated, in the bridge. And so I would need a motion to be able to spend that money. I believe it's only like $40 or $50 in that area, if I can do that.
I'll make a motion
I don't
to
know the exact amount is the only thing.
approve up to, I say, what if I say up to $60?
Yeah.
That should cover it, right, for the
So,
thank you in the bridge.
yeah, that works. We'll make that work. Anybody
Is there
second?
a second?
Second.
So let's go. So that, to help out, it was, the motion was made by Scott Champagne, seconded by, sorry, Scott Simons. I know it was Scott, couldn't remember that. That's to help out later on. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's okay. All right, so that is my old business. New business. One is, we discussed we needed a gate at the loops. You know about, I looked at a 12-foot gate, I think it was, 9-foot gate. But anyway, we were around a couple $100 and I was at Henry. That's just the gate, there's no post or anything like that. I'm sure we can figure out how to make it stay. There's enough trees around or whatever. Do you think you need, I mean, we can get up whatever size gate we need as far as the length of it.
Like that's that wide there.
Well, the only thing I don't think 12 foot wide is a pretty good sized gate,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was thinking is after we quote unquote open those loops, we always have to wait on one of them. So move that gate from A to D. And that's why I was thinking a longer gate for where the.
I get you, yeah.
That way you don't have, all you have to have is one gate,
Right.
obviously at the front for the winter. Going around to the end for when you open up one loop. That way you get that long gate for that bigger opening on the other end, so they don't drive around it.
I think 12 foot would be fine.
I think that was around, if I remember correctly, it was right around $200.
Let's say, Tractor Supply's got one on here, the county line 12 foot, economy gate for $169, so.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
so,
$200. Yeah, I gotta get a post or something if you had to. $200 would get enough.
yeah, so, we take a motion for that one, if somebody wants to do that.
I might have a couple of 8-foot telephone poles at the house left over from our bridge building projects.
Okay.
Let's see how big they are. They're either 6 or 8 feet.
So I was thinking even if we just put the gate up and then, it's not gonna swing or anything like that. You're just gonna put it up and, if I remember right, I think there's a post on one side, a wooden post. But I don't think it really takes much.
If you get a post on one side, it'll swing in, so.
Right, but there's nothing there that's gonna attach, the post is gonna wind up, kind of like lean on it, but anyway, like I say, we can cross that bridge, but yeah, so I guess I'd take a motion for $200 for the gate, up to,
I'll make a motion for up to $200 on gate.
which is Scott Champagne.
Second. Jason.
That's all right.
Copy and paste.
Yeah.
Okay. You said there was tractor support, you had saw tractor
Tractor
support.
supply 169.
Yeah, so we'll get that figured out. We'll just make sure the length, I mean, if we don't need that long, obviously.
Yeah, we have to measure it
Yeah.
first, see what we can
But
get.
I just figured if I went long, it's gonna be more money than a short gate, that's why I went.
Well, you could, there's enough on the overhang too, if it had to be a little wider on the
On the first part.
first
right?
part,
Yeah,
there's
we-
enough room there.
yeah, we can stick it in the woods or whatever, so. So though, that's done.
We need to make a motion on that, or vote.
Oh, sorry, we need a vote for that, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
So that's unanimous, good. Okay, so. The other thing we were looking at when we were doing the poker run, we were standing there and looking at the pavilion at Augie's. Looking like we might need to start thinking about putting a roof on Augie's. Obviously, we have to get estimates and things, but I just wanted to bring it up to the new business that we should be starting to get that. There is money in the Augie fund, which, just so you know, Ollie, I can't see the amount in the Ollie fund and the Augie fund. The only one that can at the moment is Ron DeRosa. Okay, you're the only, you and Ron are the only two signers on that account.
I didn't realize that.
Well, I didn't realize it till after I went to go find out how much there was in there so I could present it, but I can't tell. So I know there's at least $425 in that account now, but there's obviously more than that. But that's what I deposited to it, so. At some point, I think we should probably add at least two more signers on that account, one being, Frank Stiegler.
Yep.
Obviously, he's vested in that because, as it is, so, and then maybe one other person, just because Ron technically is not part of the club any longer, he hasn't joined. So, I'm in contact with him, he took care of some stuff for me for that account, but, without him being part of the club, it's kind of
Yeah.
on weird ground, you know what I mean, Dolly? So, but we'll cross that bridge at some point, so.
Okay.
All right. But like I said, we're probably gonna have to get some estimates on putting the roof on that thing. And then, so the other thing we have is the secretary that was here at the last meeting has decided that her situation has changed and she can no longer be the secretary. So Christine Smith, who's not here with us tonight, has offered to, as we call it, be a secretary from afar. She's not a local person, but she's part of the club. Obviously, she would do Zoom meetings, and she would wind up watching Zoom meetings and do her secretary report and stuff like that from there. So I guess I need a motion to appoint Christine Smith as a secretary.
I'll make a motion to appoint Christine Smith as secretary.
I'll second that.
Man, you just
Beat me to it.
Alright. Any discussion? I know probably nobody knows her, but,
Hey, if she's willing to do it, I say, let her try. Because
gotcha.
it's one of those things, I know all the clubs are having tough times.
Yeah,
getting people.
well, that's why we started doing Zoom.
I said, I think it's off the state.
Zoom meetings are a little bit better because they can join from anywhere. and-
Yeah, you can join it from anywhere, you can, if you're not there that night, yeah, you can watch it, and you can fast forward it through the parts you don't wanna listen to. That's that, perfect, so that's, did I vote?
No, we had
I'm
a
just,
A motion and a second.
and a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
And my hand scratching. So, Miriam, you and I didn't get a chance to talk from the last meeting. I know you're interested in giving up lots of money.
Yes, I have, I guess, three things that I wanted to bring up. Can you hear me okay?
We're good.
Perfect.
Okay, good. The first is, what do the club members and friends think about that new surface that has been applied?
Have we,
I wrote it.
I wrote it, I thought it's fine, it's,
Doesn't seem to be too dusty either,
Nope.
which is nice.
I think that was a bonus without the dust.
yeah,
Do you feel, I've been there a few times, maybe 4 or 5 times since it was put down, and it seems like it's holding up well to me. I guess we have a winter of freeze thaws and mud season and everything to go through, but do any of you have any thoughts that there could be any problems with it, or, at this point?
I think you'll find that groomer for the snowmobiles, when they get in there, that thing's gonna pack that even harder than it is now.
Okay, great, excellent, that's good. So if we had the option, whether it was grant and aid, or whether I was able to get grant money from other sources to do more of it next year, would that be okay with everybody?
Yeah, so I would,
absolutely.
so so yes, next year we'll do the same thing through grant and aid. And then I'll see if I can, with the three of us together, with myself, Clinton, and yourself, we'll add more loads to that. As long as I can get it laid out, we'll just keep adding to it.
Okay, good. That brings up one of my other issues, is I have money that I want to contribute to this. I had budgeted in my organization $5,000 for this project. And, really, other than tonight, I really didn't know exactly how much this costs, but I feel that it's just been such a good collaboration, and the start of maybe, more collaborations of this kind. And so I would like to present and mail, actually, a check for $5,000 to the ATV Club, so that you can use it for whatever you want, whether it's repairs or augies or whatever.
Okay. That works good.
Thanks.
You need to give me an address.
Yep, not a problem.
Okay,
I'll give it right to you. It's on the state website too, so it's 170 Court Street.
in Bath.
No, it's actually Haverhill now. We moved the mailbox.
Okay. So
Yeah.
where is it then?
In Haverhill.
Okay,
It's 03765 is the zip.
okay. And I'll make it out to the Ammonoosuc Valley ATV Club.
Yep, make it out to them. I'll get it installed and we'll be all set.
Okay, good. My treasurer is up in Colebrook, and I will call her tonight. I just wanted to get that done because it's been dangling a bit. So
Right.
the way I understand it is that, and just so I know for planning purposes, is that 18,880, is that the total cost of the project?
That was the total cost for just the gravel, of course, not including the labor to put it down that Clinton provided.
Okay, so he provided that.
It's kind of a win-win. We provide the material through Grant and Aid. So it's kind of weird. It's the same pair of pants, but it comes out of a different pocket. That's his pocket, we have our pocket. So if it doesn't come out of his, we can do something differently. So.
What was the percentage that the club paid toward that grant aid? Because grant aid pays for a percentage, isn't
No,
it?
on gravel, it pays zero. It's just a wash. So basically, the club writes a check, the state pays us back. So that, as opposed to post that was in that.
Yeah.
all the grading and that type of thing. There's a percentage that they don't pay it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just didn't know like how much can we put out? Like what is the club's limit as to how far, what like dollar limit can we
Right,
go?
well, you can ask for anything. So what I did was, the rule of thumb is for Clinton, on that trail is 60 loads. He can put down 60 loads a summer. Whenever he starts, that's what he can get to. So that's what I provide him. But if I find somebody that we can, so let me back up. The gravel is paid for. If I had somebody put it out, as far as lay it out, there is a percentage that they don't pay that person. In other words, the club has to match
Right.
whatever that is.
Well, that's why I was curious if we can use, if we ask for more gravel and use maybe the $6,000, $5,000 to pay for part of that match for whoever can put it down, then we can put more distance down in
Right, exactly.
one summer.
So, which will work.
Yeah, so I'd be willing to do this, to help with this match for next year too.
Right, yeah.
So we'll just talk before it happens and we'll work it out. Obviously, if it doesn't look good for some reason, we can change our mind, but so far, what I've found in talking to people along the way, they like it. It's flat, it doesn't washboard and no potholes. And no dust. The dust issue was an extra benefit here.
Right, yeah, the dust was a bonus of that.
So it seems to be good for everybody. So that's good. I guess my last question doesn't have to do with the surface, but on the big trestle bridge, there's the wooden decking there at the southern end of it has been kind of deteriorating over time. Is that something that the Snowmobile Club deals with, or the ATV Club, or Bureau of Trails?
All three.
Do you know if there's going to be any work on that? It's just it's probably okay for a bit, but it just seems to be getting worse.
I'll mention it to Clinton, have somebody look at it, and if he wants me to put in money to have that part of it fixed. So our club is weird because we do a lot on that rail trail. So we sometimes will provide material for the state to do exactly what the state would pay for anyway. But like I say, different pocket, so.
There's a sawmill right there, where you should be able to get some
Should be able to
wood
get something.
within a stone's throw of it.
Right,
So
right, should be able to do something. But yeah, that decking is, on that end, I saw it was needing some attention, it's starting to flake.
I do have a photo of it. Would it be useful to have that photo to give to him, or?
Do you want to forward that to my email address? I think you have that. And I'll-
Okay.
Or you can forward it to mine and Clint together if you want.
Okay. Clint sometimes probably gets tired of listening to me, but it works out fine. We've got a lot of good collaborations, but I'll do both.
Yeah, Clint's a good guy, but has a lot on his plate, so he does what he can, so.
Yeah.
But that'll help both of us, so we can look at it and we can try to get a game plan on how to fix it.
Yeah. Do you have the ability, or do the Snowmobile Club, do they have the ability to go out there and do the work? They have a permit from the Bureau of Trails to work on it, or does it have to be a Bureau of Trails employee?
No, I think with that one would be, well, they've done bridges and other places with volunteers, so. I think it's just replacing the deck boards. It probably won't have to, we'd have to find, obviously, someone to come out with the right equipment too, but yeah, we can definitely take a look at that.
Yeah, it might be covered by snow, by tomorrow morning, but it's just on the to-do list, for at some point.
It's good to be on the list to figure out what to do for the grant aid this spring, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Very good.
Okay, great. Well, thank you all again for allowing that opportunity to try this material. I feel really good about it, and Craig Rennie, who's the chief of the Bureau of Trails, I think you know, he's been pleased too, and he says that, the dust issue has been, is kind of a nice thing too. So it's just been a positive thing, I think, overall for everybody who uses the trail.
Perfect.
Okay.
Any other new business? Good. You didn't have anything, do you? Oh, I didn't ask you for a transfer. That one? No?
No, the only thing I was gonna say is, I know Littleton closed their, the connector section.
Correct, yeah.
I've talked to the police chief. They didn't have any issues with it, so, my only thing was I was gonna see if they would redo or if they would allow us to go all the way to the lights on Industrial Park Road, so that you could potentially get across. I do have a few emails and phone calls up to the guy that owns the Harbor Freight lot, just to see, because if he's not gonna allow us to go on it anyways, then that would be pointless, but, so I have it out there.
Is there there's like used to be maybe a gas station or something right beside the Harbor Freight lot? All around the light is there and stuff.
Yeah,
Is that part of Harbor Freight's?
yeah, that whole chunk is, yeah.
Okay.
The thought would be to go straight across the intersection, so
Right.
either following the flow of traffic and then going in
Right.
somewhere over there.
Mhm. Right on the edge without.
Yeah,
being-
I mean, even if we can't get off that lot, at least it gives people the opportunity to go to Harbor Freight if they need tools or they have a flat tire, or they've got
It's something, yeah.
something to work on, so that was kind of my thought process anyways.
Makes sense. Snowmobiles go right up the road, so I mean.
They go up the opposite side of the road.
Right,
so,
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Not even on the sidewalk, I could never understand that.
yeah, and they're crossing before the light, which makes it difficult too.
It's a pain crossing there.
Yeah, so that was the thought, is to see if they could extend that over and go down, but we'll see.
cool.
And there's really nothing there at Harbor Freight. I mean, there's no food or anything like that. Like I said, it's just
Well, I mean, if you.
parked there, you could walk down.
Somebody's broke, you got something broken,
Yeah.
somebody goes over and gets it, brings it back. But
Yeah, I mean, if we could at least get to Harbor Freight, then you could at least go back and see maybe the other two. I know like the Pizza Hut buildings are for sale right now anyways.
Yeah, and
Then Weeks Medical owns the next one now.
but I think, can't you get out behind that section?
There is-
Behind.
That's where our snowmobile trail goes
Yeah.
behind the whole
Right.
access there, so.
That was my thought, is to try and chip away at those, but we gotta get across the intersection to Harbor Freight first,
Yeah.
One step
at a time.
Right,
So,
so, alright, we'll push that.
the goal is to try and get the food somehow in Littleton. That is ultimately what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Other than
In
that,
Littleton.
I don't have.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain without being able to park there either. Well, I mean, you can park there, you just can't go anywhere there yet.
Yeah,
Alright,
Something's going in at Ed Building. See workers there the other day.
at the Harbor Freight place,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
They had a log cabin sitting in one of those windows for a while, so I don't know if they were.
and there's workers working in there when I went to Harbor Freight the
yeah,
other day.
there was, like, a couple of years ago, they had that whole thing torn apart, starting over, and then they stopped.
Yeah.
But, alright. Anything else anybody wants to talk about? Yes?
So, of course, Lisbon roads are now closed.
Correct.
The Board of Selectmen are gonna have a public hearing on our first meeting in December. I think it's December 5th, if I recall right. And ask the townspeople how things went. I mean, we had a couple of original complaints to begin with. Only two that I'm aware of, and the rest of the season, we didn't hear anything, so. If there's not a lot of complaints, I'm sure the board will continue next year to do what we did this year with opening it up for residents and stuff to access the rail bed. We are gonna try to make the crossings more visible, like by Sunoco Station where the town owns to come across
Right,
302 there. We'll actually put in like what we did in front of 6 South Main where we have
Right.
a, an actual lane, painted lane for it, but
Mhm.
that's probably what's gonna happen.
Very
That's
good.
it?
If you do that, you need something, you know, the town needs something painted, let us know, because you guys have helped us out so much on the loop area, using town equipment for.
Yeah, well, and again, this year they painted it, kind of a temporary thing to see how it was gonna work out, and they actually
Yeah.
didn't use the paint machine. The biggest thing is the cost of the paint. A lot of the paint now is increased in price, and it's been harder to get, so.
Yeah.
Actually, depending on how our public hearing goes, I'll have the highway crew actually order the paint, and the proper paint, that has
The right stuff in it.
the right stuff in it for reflection. We'll have them order that now because it is
That
such
way
an
you'll
issue
have
to get it in.
Yeah.
And to get a lot of that stuff now, so.
Very good. Anybody else?
The only thing I had was, I know we talked, you and I talked about it a little bit, but whether we were gonna apply for grant aid for some kind of new tractor. I know that's under new business, so I don't know if you had a different section, and then kind of what mowing attachment, because I know we talked about mowing the railroad bed.
Yeah, so I've got Lisa sending me specs on how to get that grant. And then you and I'll tackle it somewhere. So
I just didn't know what the percentage was, because this is our last meeting of this year, so I don't know if we had to do anything.
I don't know
Before the start.
next year. I don't know what they're gonna do next year, but this year they bumped it up to like 90, it would be 80, well, it's always been 80-20, but there's some obviously weird stipulations in it, which you have to have everything made in the USA. I don't know, anything made in the United States completely anymore.
As long as it's assembled.
When do you have to do your grant?
It's in the spring.
That's why I was curious, because I don't know when our first meeting is, but if that's in April, we're gonna have enough time
Yeah,
to get what we need done.
we'll make it work.
Yeah, you guys can always just get together or whatever.
I just didn't know if we needed to vote as a group
No.
To spend
to spend the 20%.
No,
That was one thing I didn't.
so the other thing is the tractor we have, that a lot of times, that was bought with grant aid money. It should be out of their ballpark by now, obviously.
Isn't it 7 years?
Yeah, it's been forever. I think that thing's what, an 07?
No, it's no 4.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
But it's got-
7.
right,
It's got
so,
320 hours on it.
yeah, it's got no hours on it.
Yeah.
So that could be literally sold, and that could be,
Oh, your percentage, 20%
that could
match.
be part of that match.
My
What
suggestion,
what if you trade?
my suggestion would be to keep that.
Trade
If we don't, if it's so old, I mean, it's in good shape for really with the years. It's just not quite big enough for what we need, but we cover such a long distance that it would make sense to put one on one, toward one end and one toward the other side, because it's gonna take you forever to drive from one side to
Yeah,
the other, so.
paddle from A to B.
Yeah, so where if the club already owns it and it's way past its, the grant aid time, we might as well keep it.
Yeah, so you might as well keep it, and
I mean-
then you just gotta figure out how to get to the other.
Yeah,
So that one would be, I mean, you'd have lawnmower attachment on the bigger one, obviously.
yeah.
And if you could do it so it was on the front, it'd be easier, so you'd have a 3-point hitch on the back, and that way you could still grade with it.
Right.
You can do both, you can mow and grade at the same time, even if your grader blade was straight, so,
Yeah.
but,
And can you get grant aid for mowing, brush hogging?
that I would have to find out.
I know mowing you probably can't, but brush hogging.
Yes, it's brush hogging and stuff, I will have to find out from Lisa on how to word that so I get it correctly. So,
Just because we probably would do more brush hogging than we would grading, so if you can.
but, I mean, that railroad bed is so hard.
Yeah,
It doesn't move, whether you run a grader blade on it or not, it
the
doesn't.
grader blade doesn't have enough weight to, it just bounces up over it and it's a lot of.
Well, it was even more fun when it didn't have a cutting head on. for a while. It had the cutting edge from before.
Yeah,
Well, I took over as a president of it, I want to change cutting edges, so I had, easiest to be heaviest that I could get,
yeah,
just for weight. And, it used to be you could wait in third gear, you didn't have and put the cutting edge on, and I had to go to second in low range, because I couldn't go anywhere.
yeah.
It was just digging as much better than it was skipping along.
Yeah.
So,
I just didn't know if we were gonna have enough time by the time we have our
Yeah,
first
no.
meeting to determine.
No,
'cause
I
we have
think-
to obviously vote, I think, to spend that 20%.
yeah, I think we can get by that, I think, because obviously I mean, by that time, all this money will be back in. And there's actually I think there's another $2,000 or $4,000 for the gravel for the loops that we gotta put out. What I'll do is I'll just bank it with somebody,
Yeah,
pay for the gravel and, just hang on to it till spring.
yeah,
I think we have till May 31st to spend it, for the contract ends. So it doesn't like it ends on December 31st, like I thought for many years. We actually have till the spring side of it to get through that, so
it's not bad, because if we have to redo any of the loops, we can actually use that.
we can use that. Yeah, that's why I figured if I
And
banked
this
it,
spring,
bank it with somebody, because there's, like you said, there's money there.
yeah,
Even if they just brought material down and dumped it somewhere down there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then worry about that washout before the Bath Bridge too.
yes,
Yeah.
Oh, that.
yeah, that one's
so-
getting pretty bad.
So there's
You know, this,
what I wanna say there, there's an agreement, kinda, sort of more or less. But anyway, we applied this year for $10,000 worth of winter damage.
mhm,
And if that thing washes out much more than it has, we'll just apply for that $10,000 to stay able to do the same thing it did in Lisbon.
right. It can't be much more of washout, I mean, it's.
I can't believe the state hasn't fixed that yet. I mean, it's
Well,
3/4 of the way across the trail.
so the answer is they have to wait for a catastrophic, so they don't have to worry about their permits.
And then after spring and the ice, it'll be.
Catastrophic, that'd be catastrophic.
And what's funny is the reason they put that in, it's for everybody anyway, but the reason they put that in there is the state footed the bill on all of that in Lisbon,
Mhm.
because they did not have anything from the club, because nobody asked it for it. So but you have to ask for it ahead of time. You can't ask for it on an emergency basis, so that's why there's a lot of that $10,000 is in there. It's a drop and a half for the repair, but at least it's something. So. But anyway, if nobody has anything else, we will adjourn the meeting at
Motion to adjourn.
When's the next
7:37. That will be
April?
April.
Okay.
Second Tuesday in April. So, all right, very good. Thank you, Mary Ann. Thank you, Ollie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good holiday season.
You too.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving.
Ollie, we'll try to get in touch with you on adding another signer and stuff on the Augie account. I think Frank would be a good one to add, only like I say, he's invested in it. So, all right,
Okay.
we'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Somebody in the club that's gonna be building us a Maryland